drums, yeah. Good drums, yeah, rather than drum kit.
Cross Hill School is a secondary school in Blackburn, Lancashire, and was the first special school in the country to gain Phase 2 Specialist Technology College status. The additional funding has enabled the school to become very well resourced, particularly in ICT and media technology. In this programme, we see how pupils are producing their own films inspired by Macbeth and composing soundtracks.
And when I say roll camera, yeah, quiet please. Oh no, what are we going to do?
As well as allowing students to develop key skills, the high-level facilities have attracted pupils from local mainstream schools, so advancing Cross Hill's wider vision of inclusion.
Bring that one up there, that's it.
All our children have moderate learning difficulties and some have associated difficulties. We have some children with medical problems, some with behavioural problems, and we have some children who are wheelchair users, children who are visually impaired, hearing impaired. So we do have the whole range of pupils in the school.
Access to the facilities has been extended to include the wider community, which has brought additional social benefits for the school and staff.
The staff have had a boost. We're recognised nationally because of our status. We've been able to support other schools nationally with applying for that status. The funding that comes into the school has enhanced our resources. We've been able to appoint more staff. Our technology is state-of-the-art, and the pupils, their self-esteem is boosted by it.
The other special schools we've visited, I must say...
Mike and Viv Hatch regularly discuss progress with Professor Mel Ainscoe, who advises on strategies for school improvement and inclusive practice. Today they are joined by media studies teacher Joseph Perner, who uses video throughout the school to support the curriculum.
Yeah. What about becoming a technological college? Did that help?
That was a start for us. That gave us the status to... that was recognised nationally.
Yeah.
And it also gave us the funding to enable us to buy the equipment that we've got. We were able to employ more staff. Because we focused in ICT, we brought in a new member of staff who was the network manager, who was able to drive things forward. We spent a great deal of money on desktops, laptops, servers, wireless network, whiteboards, media. So the school is entrenched in modern technology.
In the very near future, we hope to be able to publish their films over the internet using our video server, which is going to be coming online within the next few weeks. So they'll be able to not only create their own work here, but share it with other students or their parents or families from any computer which has an internet link.
What about the role of people from the university? What do you think we add to all of this?
You and your colleagues have challenged us. I think you've seen us as being in the forefront of special education, and I think you've come in and you've pushed me. Yeah. There have been times where I've sat back and thought, perhaps I should do that. When I've got staff saying, no, you know, let's consolidate what we've got. And I think there have been times where you've said, well, yeah, consolidate, but also keep looking to the future.
It seems to me one of the great strengths of your work is where you've created in the school here a capacity for using technology for learning in all sorts of ways, which means that everybody in the school, not just the adults, but the children are so confident in using technology, aren't they?
I think if you can create a niche for yourself whereby you develop a lot of expertise and you have a lot of resources that can be shared with other schools. The mainstream. So I use Mel in a way as a mentor and somebody who can make me think outside of the box. Mel became involved with the school 4 or 5 years ago, and he was very impressed with the work that our students were doing, in particular with ICT. Well, most students are very, very good at accessing simple ICT. For instance, they've all got email addresses. They can all access the internet.
Looking at the Tate Gallery now.
They can all do PowerPoint presentations. Clearly, the ability depends upon the quality of those presentations. But what it has done for all our students, it's encouraged them to read more. They may not know that they're reading more, but they are. They look at a picture and they then associate a word with the picture, and before you know it, they're typing in something on Google or another search engine, that word. So they're reading and improving their spelling all the time through the use of ICT.
It seems to me your school is one of the special schools nationally that's really been pushing forward the inclusion agenda, and of course your partnership with the other group of special schools nationally as part of the Specialist Schools Trust has really helped us to learn from their experience as well in that sense, really.
The inclusion strategy encourages pupils to attend local mainstream schools for a variety of subjects.
We purchase the uniforms of the schools they're going into, and our children change into the uniform and go into the lessons so they don't stand out, they look exactly the same. Our aim is for all our children at some point to have a mainstream inclusive link. We choose children at the moment who we think have an aptitude, a particular love of something, to go into the mainstream school to study it. Jack and Stephen were highlighted as two particularly sporty lads. They said they would like to go to do the GCSE. We look at them socially, behaviourally, to see if we think they will fit in, and an inclusive link will be of benefit to them.
Well, there were problems, weren't there? Some staff not so long ago were even worried about some of the children from this school being out in the mainstream.
There was resistance from some of our staff to actually go out there. I think because they were afraid of going out. They were also afraid of taking our children out of a safe environment into an unknown environment. The good thing from my point of view is that now the staff who go out all come back with a very positive view. And my vision is that wherever the need is for something, that we between the schools can fulfil the learning needs, the social needs of the children.
Stephen and Jack come down to Cross Hill to take part in the GCSE PE course. They come down to get specialist tuition for theory and practical for myself and the other members of the PE department.
For their self-esteem, it's wonderful because they're going down and showing that they have skills that they can use. And for the Our Ladies pupils, it's great because they're seeing that, yes, we've got skilled people in our school as well, you know, who have got talents and they can share. And friendships are formed by them. They go down there and they just mix in with them, they all chat together. In some cases, they actually make friendships that last outside school as well, which is always a problem for pupils in special schools because they don't always go to the school in their neighbourhood. So it's lovely if they can be mixing with pupils from all the different areas, and then they do have friends in the neighbourhood from the mainstream school. We're evaluating all the time the progress of our pupils, and in some cases, if things aren't working out, then we will look and see what we can do about that. If we can't put enough measures in place to keep that link going, then on occasions we have withdrawn children. In terms of other evaluation, the mainstream high school will do everything to do with the GCSE exam. Testing, coursework, and the exams are taken down at the high school. My evaluation today of the lesson was that they took part fully, they understood what was being asked of them, they understood that they had to do the skills before they were able to play in the game, that the skills were helping them to understand the rules of the game and how to play a better game, and that they were fully included in the lesson. So it would just be a very general evaluation, unlike that in a maths lesson where you would have a more formal evaluation at the end of a more academic subject.
Socially, it's working extremely well for the two boys. They've made a lot of friends since they've come down here. Initially, I thought they might be left sort of on the periphery. They wouldn't be able to work with the lads, but they've been included, they've made friends, they've taken interest in the social life, and they do get on very well with each other.
Shall I just put my screen on for 1 minute? Yeah, that's it.
The inclusion works both ways, and the state-of-the-art facilities at Cross Hill attract mainstream pupils from St Bede's and Our Lady St John to access business and media studies.
Our Ladies, it's an art school, and then people think they like to make out of a special school, which they don't. It's just the same.
I reckon there should be more mixing so we get to know all pupils and all that lot at the school.
Yeah, there should be more inclusion so we could get to know them a lot better instead of just walking past them in the corridors and stuff like that.
I think now that we have this mix of the schools and our pupils are going out more and more into mainstream schools, that they feel, no, I can do the same as these other students. They are mixing
You
in
also have
fully.
students sometimes who go into the mainstream and are actually more successful academically than some of the
yes.
students there.
Yeah, we've had that happen in several cases.
In terms of examination results?
Oh, we got a girl who got a B in her GCSE ICT this year, you know, in a mainstream school.
I think one of the problems has been that there's not been clarity amongst people as to what we mean when we say inclusion. There seems to be so many different versions of what inclusion means.
I think we see a lot more children having an opportunity to go out to other schools, and to me that's what inclusion is I think an opportunity to see the way other students learn and mix in with other students, and instead of staying just here at Cross Hill School, and move beyond that stigma of being in a special needs school. And other than that, we have mainstream students coming to us now, which I think balances the equation. So we have our children going out and other children coming in.
I used to be a head teacher of a special school, not dissimilar to this, a long time ago. I mean, what I was worried about really was that, okay, we could do a really good job with the children in a school like this in terms of their learning, their skills, their reading and all those areas, but you can never provide them with the social learning because they're not mixing with all the children who sooner or later they've got to live with in the great big world in that sense, really.
Well, inclusion is everything to do with children being involved with their own individual education. I think personalised learning is very similar to inclusion.
That's the big fashion, of course, now.
Yes, it is. But when you think of personalised learning, it's looking at individual needs and an appropriate education for individual students.
This week, pupils throughout the school are accessing the curriculum in a variety of Macbeth projects.
That's it. We all spread out. We've all got loads of room. Right, up, nice and tall.
Debbie Milner, a peripatetic dance teacher, is encouraging pupils to explore the dramatic themes.
Well, we differentiate the curriculum all the time. An instance could be our Year 8 and 9 students are studying Macbeth. Now, the way I believe Macbeth would be taught is the traditional way, with a book in front of you with maybe a little bit of creativity with some acting and so on, and watching a film maybe. But we've integrated it throughout the curriculum. So they've been looking at Macbeth when they've been doing PE.
Hands out your pockets. Looking at me. Was finding a different route into understanding Macbeth through movement and dance. So we did Proud and Strong and Brave Macbeth last time. So today we were doing about how the evil spirits take over Macbeth. Strong movements. No soggy chip. I've not changed the workshop so much from what I would do in the secondary school around the corner, for instance. It's just that maybe I might take a little bit longer, or we might work a little bit more on performance, watching each other and appreciating what we're doing. Keep records of what we've done and ask the children how much they're appreciating it and what they've enjoyed doing, and at the end we can video it so we can watch what we've achieved, what we've started out and what we've achieved in the end.
The dramatic theme is developed in Joseph Perner's media classes, where years 9 and 10 are using special effects and music to access Macbeth.
Did you see that when we did Alien High School and the boy came through the door and he had those trails behind him? It looked like he came through the door, didn't it? You could use this blue screen in many different ways to make special effects.
I've taught GCSE media studies and A-level media studies. For those courses, the students have to produce a tremendous amount of written work, and many of the students are turned off by that. Whereas our students here are studying the same things, the same concepts, they're learning the same theory, but they're putting them into practice. And yes, you can tell they're excited by it. They find it probably one of the most exciting things they do here in school.